Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Experience West Virginia. In this episode we'll meet Linda and Rick all the way from Michigan. So nice to have everybody join us today. I have my new friends here, Linda and Rick. And Linda, you are a part of the organization, the Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, sure. Okay, so a few years ago, I started working on Family Tree after I retired. And I discovered that my family has a Revolutionary War veteran. And one of my family members says, oh, you should check into Daughters of the American Revolution. So I did. I went out to the website, dar.org, and found out that there was a chapter really close to where we were living, Waterford, Michigan. Oh. And so I went to visit a chapter to find out what it was all about and everything, and it seemed really fun. So it's all about honoring our veterans and getting out in the community and doing good works in the community, maybe cleaning a park or something like that. And then just making people feel good, maybe sending cards to veterans or people maybe in a nursing home or something like that. We don't always do big things. Mm-hmm. They could be small things, but then our national organization, Daughters of the American Revolution, they do big things. They have a building in D.C. called Continental Hall.
Oh.
And it's beautiful. It's really close to the White House. And it's just amazing to see. And we have something called Continental Congress once a year in D.C. That's in June, the end of June. And it's just amazing. They have a president general. Okay, so in the chapter there is a regent. And she's in charge of the whole chapter, and we have lots of committees and lots of people help with different things. You know, to learn more about it, you could go out to dar.org and read about it. There's all kinds of information.
Wow, that sounds really, really neat. So your chapter, you came from Michigan, right?
Right.
So what brought you to this, our neck of the woods, so to speak?
That would have been my husband, Rick. He did all the searching, didn't you, Rick?
Yeah, I just found a place. We needed a place, like 7 or 8 hours away.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come into the mountains of West Virginia and Virginia, and this kind of seemed like the best place to be.
Yeah.
So you've got pretty good rep out there, of course, and the pictures that you had on the sites and stuff were fantastic, so that's why I picked this.
Yeah, it's beautiful. He showed it to me and he says, would you want to go to stay at a bed and breakfast? And I said, sure.
I'm kind of a researcher because Linda and I both were in IT, so we did a lot of analytical work at the time. So.
Yeah, we both worked in IT for a lot of years. I worked in it for 35, but he was in there for more than 40 years. Mm-hmm.
So you came all the way from Michigan, and you're on your way to where?
D.C.
And why are you going to D.C.?
For Children of the American Revolution.
Arlington.
Well, Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough to D.C. Anyway, Arlington, Virginia.
And you're going to the CAR convention.
National Convention.
Which is for Children of the American Revolution.
Yes. Yeah, so it means all the kids that are in this organization, they have a Revolutionary War veteran. So probably a grandma or a mom or an aunt is a member of DAR. Mm-hmm. And so then they help the kids get into CAR. And some of them join when they're a baby. As soon as they're born, the grandma or the mom or the aunt get the little infant into CAR immediately. Now others join later. Like I have some kids that didn't join until they were 11 or 12 years old because they didn't know about it.
But that's where she's a senior, right?
Senior president, yeah.
Senior president of a society, and this is her real love.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Elias Cady Society. So Elias Cady was a veteran. He was a Revolutionary War veteran, and he is buried in Michigan, about 30 miles from our house. In Holly, Michigan. And so we do things in Holly sometimes, but we do a lot in Waterford. We go to we live in Oakland County, in Michigan, and it's a big county. It's the second biggest county in the state. And so we stay within the Oakland County usually. But the reason we're going to the national convention is because one of my kids is going to get installed at Mount Vernon as president of Michigan Society.
Oh, wow.
So I'm
For the
thrilled.
whole state. So
Yeah.
it's kinda-
What an honor.
Yeah, Parker Hagel, and she's 14. She just turned 14 in December, and she's been with me for almost 5 years. Now, she'd been in the organization even before I came into it, but she probably has been in it since she was 5 years old or even younger. You know, Grandma was probably bringing her when she was an infant.
Yeah. So if you were interested in becoming a member of your organization, where would you start to even see if you qualify?
Okay, so you go on to dar.org, and then there's a thing on the first page that says, would you like to join? You click on that, and then it'll tell you all about the organization. And if you're not sure if you have a Revolutionary War veteran, still go to the chapter, and they'll have someone sit down with you, the registrar probably, but maybe someone else too.
Somebody will help you, I see.
Yep, they'll find out, and sometimes we have genealogy events where we'll have them at a library or something, and then we'll put it in the newspaper, and people will come, and they can help you look up and see if you've got a Revolutionary War veteran. All they got to have is your maiden name, and maybe who your parents were, and if you know their birth dates or their death dates or anything, then they can look it up and say, oh, well, looks like someone's already joined within your family of some type. You know, it might not be a sister or brother. It might be a grandma or a great-grandma, because the organization got started in 1890 by 4 women. There was a Sons of the American Revolution, and these 4 women wanted to join the Sons of the American Revolution, and they said, oh no, it's just for men. No women allowed. So so even in 1890, there were some very assertive women, and they wrote this huge article, and they decided that they were going to start their own organization, and they did in 1890. And by I think it was 15 or 20 years later, that they built the Continental Hall
In D.C.
in D.C., and it's beautiful. It is something else to see. If you go to D.C., make a stop there, and you can get a tour, or you can even just walk in and look at things yourself too.
Can I just interject a little bit? CAR now, the children's, you don't even have to have a Revolutionary War veteran, do you, in your lineage? You just a regular child can actually join that, can it?
They can't join the CAR. They can come to our meetings.
So they can
Okay.
And
participate.
they can
but can't
participate.
They can participate.
Like, let's say that there's a family that has stepkids, and the kids are descendants of a Revolutionary War veteran. Well, the stepkids could still come. They can't be a member. They can't hold a position as an officer or something, but they can help. Like if we're going to be in a parade, if we do that sort of thing too. We're in parades. We honor veterans. We do all sorts of stuff.
Well,
you know.
the biggest thing that I'm a veteran, and my father was, and my grandfather's. But when I hear what they do things that just basically celebrate America. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're very patriotic. They teach kids why, about our past, and should be proud of the way we govern and all that kind of thing. I mean, it really kind of catches you after a while. Mm-hmm. And when you see such good being done by an organization, it's not perfect. There's a lot of people involved, which you know how that is. Mm-hmm. But it's really good for the kids.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of history that's kept
There
alive
is.
within your organization.
Oh yeah.
And they do. I mean, it's just like we just got done with our yearly thing with keychains.
Oh.
And they make these keychains by hand out of beads and stuff.
For veterans.
And they give it to the veterans, you know. And it's kind of
We
fun.
made 163 keychains.
Wow.
Yeah. How many did we have at our workshop? I think we only had 12 people at our workshop, and probably only 5 members.
Oh.
But all the rest were adults. And this was the 3rd time we were doing it. And the lady that comes in and gives us all the supplies, she is a volunteer coordinator for hospice veterans in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We met 2 years ago in 2022. And so this was our 3rd workshop. She just loves us.
Yeah.
You know, she loves that we're willing to make these keychains for the veterans, and then her group goes to a veteran facility that we can't visit. You know, they have to be very careful of their veterans. And so then they hand out the keychains to the veterans.
Well, Linda and Rick, it's been so nice to have you come and visit, and we'd love to have you back if you're ever down this way again from Michigan. We'd love to have you to come and stay longer so that we can learn more about your organization and you can learn more about the history that we have here in Jamestown.
We would love to. I
would
think
love
we
to,
could
yeah.
come and stay 3 or 4 days for sure, but maybe even a week.
Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we could. This is a beautiful area. There's so much to see. And not only stay in this beautiful home, but okay, so I grew up on a farm, and it was just so fun walking around the farm and seeing the baby bannies and the baby sheep and the Shetland pony and the horses and everything.
Well,
It was just really fun.
the chickens, though, that was what her job was on the farm.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I had to feed the chickens
This
from the
was when
time
she
I was 5.
She was about this tall.
I maybe had to do it before that, but I remember doing it before I had to go to kindergarten, that I had to feed the chickens. So I had to wear a scarf so that the feathers didn't
Well,
get
you should let me
all
know. We
over.
could let you feed the chickens this morning before breakfast.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, work for my keep, right? Yeah, that's right. That's what my mom thought anyway.
I don't
Work
think
for
she'd
your
mind,
keep.
actually.
No, I won't.
Well, it was so good to have you. It was so nice meeting you, and we look forward to your next visit.
Oh, thank you so much.
Find out how you too can experience West Virginia by visiting us online at lrcbnb.com. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Stay tuned for our next exciting episode of Experience West Virginia.